We ready to go. Hit that like button, family. Kev, roll. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what a powerful show yesterday. Well, depending on which one you watch. The second one was even worse. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already to this channel. Kev, roll and nothing. Shout out to the people in the chat room early. I see y'all out there. I see y'all. I'll be trying to see who gonna really be up in here. That's all. Well, we got 30 viewers already. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Hit the like button. Louisiana, what's up with it? Shout out to TC in the building up this morning and Brian King. Shout out to you, sir. Shout out to Taj, TC again. Lord have mercy. I ain't no stripper, TC. Man, collect all them little dollars, bro. You got me feeling like a stripper. Like a knowledge stripper or something. Come on, bro. Shout out to my man Brian King out there. What up, Remy Red? Taj Payton. Lord have mercy, Taj. Did you see what I posted, sir, on Discord? Oh, my goodness. I'm about to test the classroom. I'm about to test the class and see how their analysis is from fingerprints to ear prints. We finna figure this shit out right now. Today's y'all lucky day. Press 1. Today, what up, Bocat? You have no idea. Y'all know I've been on my Columbo shit trying to find out who did this to us. Press... Y'all know I've been on my Columbo shit trying to find out what really happened to us. Everybody got quiet. Press 1. Nobody want to talk to Detective Gillespie. Press 1. No, not about gang activity and criminal. Not about their masters and who did what and where were they at the scene of the crime. Hit the like button and subscribe. Where were they at the scene of the crime? Praying my strength? No, don't pray for my strength. God gives me strength. Pray for your strength. Pray like this. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Pray for, I don't know what you praying to or who you praying for or what you're doing, ma'am. We are in shambles. We ain't got time for you to be playing around in classrooms. Louisiana sunshine. Press 1. I don't even know if you know how to pray. Just come to class. Praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. Yeah, you just sit down in class and pray for your notes. Pray your notes are in order when I call on you. Press 1. Don't be trying to entice Kev early. You ain't pray for me for what? What happened? You know, when black folks say they're going to pray for you, that means something wrong. I'm not no fool. Something is right. This is too right. I'm praying for you, that your brain work and activated, that you can remove your children from in front of the propagandized TV. Don't pray for me. Pray for you, woman. Press 1. Uh-oh, Kev, go and pray for yourself, woman. Stand up right. Press 1. It's like the NOI over here. Stand up right. Oh, I love this class. Yours truly, what up with it? Amanda's in the chat room. What's up with it? For his glory. Brittany's up in here. All my moderators. Max, what's up? Marley, what up with it? Amani Bay, honors to you, sir. Mari, Amani, all the way from Japan. Shout out to you in Japan. Speaking of Japan, we're going to be talking about Japan today, Mr. Bay. So God bless you. Maybe you can inform us on some information that is coming at hand. Let me see who this caller is. My show, Coffee and Kush TV. What's your name and where you calling from? And turn your sound down in the back. This is not a ghetto radio show. It's Channel 54. You on the air.
Good morning. This is Lou from Detroit.
Lou from Detroit. I've never met you before. What do you want with me while I'm doing roll call? What's up?
Well, I said I'm praying your strength on the live chat, and I wasn't meaning it the way you took it. I just wanted to call in and
I don't
say hi
care.
because I never
I don't care. You call in about some notes.
I understand.
No, you don't
No,
really
you
understand.
just-
No,
I don't
I
have
don't want to
notes.
hear. Your voice ain't that sweet to bypass security precaution. Press 1.
Shame.
Get on over there in the
Shame.
back. I don't
Shame.
care to know who you are or what you do or what you said. The only thing I care about is your understanding of Charles Dawes and this beautiful, beautiful display of information we got over here right now. All this interpersonal shit that ain't got nothing to do with me. Keep it to yourself. Lord have mercy. I see why black male YouTubers fail. These crazy black women in the chat room that ain't got shit to do because KCAL9 and talk shows is not longer popping on TV. They think this is the spot where they can, oh, hi, oh, no. Get out of here. Go over to King AK-47 with the guy with the tattoos all over and the scrabbles all over his face. Go over there. That's where you can go do all of that goofy stuff. Now, this is too powerful information to even sound like that. You belong in the 3rd grade. You worried about the chat room. Your first time calling, you worried about what somebody said in the chat. That's embarrassing. It ain't only the males. It ain't only the males. A lot of these women, the more you rise consciously in your brain, they gonna be using they little silly ass, dumb 4th grade, little stupid tactics to keep everybody else down. For the last few days we had the males. This must be the day Satan want to use you females. So be cautious, call it audience. Be very cautious. And we gonna listen to these callers sterilely. Tired of this shit. We got too much great stuff. But look, we got Adolf Hitler, Charles Dawes, right? And I got and the Strawman. Now, what do I mean by the Strawman? Well, after the Masters of Disguise series, you know, the whole team, which is everybody out there in the world, is just doing a lot of comparisons, which is dope because this is all the same around the time. We're looking for one guy playing multiple roles with multiple lives, but it's just one stupid magician motherfucker like a superhero from Iron Man. This motherfucker can spread out in time and shit. You better watch this one. He'll change his clothes and do something else. This the type of nigga that'll fill a contract out, change his clothes, change his name, and go be the second signer. So he one signer and he the second one. That's the type of person you're dealing with. Master of disguise. Now, these people are insane. I never knew how deep dual citizen, these little names really mean. These people pulled off a heist so big, I think it's worth talking about. And again, I was sitting back. Y'all know I did the extras yesterday. You know, is he this guy? Is he that guy? We left it up to the audience. We still don't know who is who. Some people hit me after the show and said, man, that's Walter Plecker. Press 1, that's a damn shame, Kev, that you put up Walter Plecker. All these people, and now people are, what that means is people are understanding the depth of it. You know, it's one thing to get black people to pay attention, but to understand what their eyes are actually seeing in context to the subject matter, it's a beautiful thing. So I commend those who are able to, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is think on that level of context. And I'm proud of those who can. And those who can't, don't worry. We are all here at the same time. People paying attention to prosthetics and how they were doing things. I showed one video and people are understanding that you never know if this guy, not these people, this guy whole front bottom from his nose all the way around his face could be a prosthetic. You understand what I'm saying? The only thing they need is the facial lower jaw structure. That's it. Like this. I'm going to show you. I can see it on Hitler a lot better. Look, because this is a lot more. You see on Hitler's face, how the color don't match his neck type of shit. Look how that go down. Like that whole jawline of perception is prosthetic, could be possible prosthetic. Just like this guy at the bottom, his whole frontal lobe all the way up his nose bridge, coming back down the cheek, all the way back down. You can see a hell of an outline there, but I'm not saying that for show. What I'm saying is you got to be able to think on that level when dealing with masters of disguise, people who change their identities and people perceived to be dead. And everybody know Germany came here big time. Everybody but us. The only thing we know is white people. You know what I'm saying? That's all we know. White people. They hate us. White people, they hate us. Give us money, they hate us. No, bro. Let's kind of take a step back and from an open-minded perspective. What if this really happened? What if the Nazis really ain't dealing with just no white man? You know, just yelling at a brick wall now. Remember, who, what, where, when, and why. We gonna get back to the banking institution and what they did. Right now, we still going over power players to make that all possible in the time frame in the 1900s. That's a crazy. We coming up. We got some good info. But look at this, y'all. I want y'all to pay attention to this new person that I'm bringing to the forefront. And I don't want you to look at them. I want you to look at the ear part. So much so, I did it for you. Press 1. Now, the brother to the left is older. But he is a serious character in the game, right? This guy to the left is the Strawman. Press 1. Is that the same ear? Yes or no? Now, this guy is face forward and Hitler has a tilt. So pay attention to the angle in which I'm saying. But do you see major similarities in this ear and head? Really just ear, because that's what I'm going with, like some fingerprint shit. Bo Cat, I'm going to the commission. I told you this this like some first 48. Look at that ear there. If that was caught on surveillance, and then all the evidence you got is this glitch of the suspect. Look at yourself like a jury, and I'm the attorney, and I'm charging, sir. What I'm telling you is, the ear is better than a damn fingerprint. Lord have mercy. So I think it's notable. Y'all gonna find out who that is very shortly. Very shortly, y'all. But I just mentioned Mr. Butts. Press 1. Y'all heard me say Butts. Okay, so I wanna revert you to Exhibit A. Hold that in your brain. Press 1. Hold that in your brain. I'm going over to Archibald Butts. Press 1. Now don't laugh, y'all, about his name. Okay, his name is Archibald Butts. Like Seymour Butts it's a joke. Press 1. This is Archibald. I want you to pay attention to Archibald because he's important. Don't laugh at his face neither. He may remind you of somebody.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Okay, Archibald here died in the Titanic after he did something very significant, family. I pointed it out here at Exhibit A with the emoji of the finger pointing at the evidence. He is United States Volunteers, corporate takeover type nigga in 1898. He served in the quartermaster corps during the Spanish-American War after a brief posting in Washington, D.C. and Cuba. He was appointed by military to the Republican President Roosevelt and Taft. Press 1. He was highly influential advisor on the wide range of topics to both men, and his writings are a major source of historical information on the presidencies. And I bet that's true because, I mean, look at him. He looks like a president. I'm damn near. He died in the sinking of the British liner Titanic in 1912. Could you believe this? Somebody says Stalin. Somebody said he's Stalin. Who is this guy, you guys? Who is Archibald Butt? Press 1. This shit get retarded when you start like, wait a minute. Oh, white folk love my history class. This is the best history class on the planet. I have never. The Archibald was a part of the 1898 coup d'etat here in America, right? I just wanted you to look at this guy real close. I want y'all to look at this guy real close. That's all. Pay attention to what the hell is going on in the world. I mean, what's going on in the world at the time. Okay? But I'm going back. I'm going back to my good friend, with the matching ears. All right, a president of Venezuela looked dead on Masters of Disguise. I told you, Barley. I told you it's a good program. Let's go back to the guy with the ears. Could you think on multiple levels? Okay, so you're saying this is the guy. Okay, so if this is the guy with the matching ear, audience, right? Say we on some Scooby-Doo shit. Then do you want to know who this guy is? Okay. This guy is Edward Mandell House. Press 1. That's this guy here. Dressed up. Ancient 1858 Houston, right? Glenwood resting place. Let me show you about this guy. This guy's very, very interesting. Somebody said a young Teddy. You are absolutely right, Aaron. That looked like a young Teddy Roosevelt, didn't it? I was waiting for that. Didn't that look like a young Teddy Roosevelt? Didn't he look like a young 27 to 31-year-old, 25 to 30-year-old Teddy Roosevelt dying in the Titanic? I was waiting on somebody to say something like that. He did look like. But this gentleman here looks like an old feller. 1915 is the date. So it wouldn't line up, right? Or unless these again, time really don't exist when you're dealing with characters. Time really don't exist. But anybody know who Archibald House is? I mean, Edward House? Don't worry. We're going to talk about the Curtis Act, 1931, how that really just went to, but we just, I had to bring this to your attention about Mr. Edward House. Anybody know who he is? What he's done? So, okay. So let's see what Eddie's done. Okay? Let's go check his profile, family. Let's go get to him. Let's get to him. So we gonna bring it up. Don't worry. Don't worry. We got you. Don't worry, guys. I got you. Kev got y'all, man. Fuck it. Press 1. See, Edward Mandel House. Oh, he predicts the creation of the Strawman in America. In the United States Incorporated. Press 1. Do you understand? Edward Mandel House predicts creation of the straw man in the United States. I'm telling you, he shared the same ear as old boy who created the straw man for the bankers. So this guy here predicts the creation of the straw man. Now, I haven't went into that because I wanted to read this with y'all. For sure. I got to show the people like, bruh, this shit deep. It's deeper than rap. It's deeper than rap. So, obviously, he would, right? He would be the guy who would predict a straw man corporate takeover in America to enslave humanity. He really would. But that can't be the same guy because it's 1812 and he already looks old, right? Yes. Masters of disguise. So in 1812 they got clear pictures of this guy, probably video, but they don't have none of Indian and niggas. In 1812. That fucking clear. Okay, so let's stop the cap. Or the bullshit in layman's term. So, let me remove this from my screen real quick. Alright. This is the first real evidence. Colonel Edward Mandel House predicts creation of strawman in the United States. Hit that like button and subscribe so we can read this. Press 1. Adolf Hitler in disguise. Press 1. You starting to see through their little costumes, aren't you? You got to be able to see through their fucking fake American Puritan when they're Russian. You got to think of it like, damn, they really impersonating. Hey, the emperor got a new clothes. You will never think in your brain this guy got the perfect matched ear to you know who. They wasn't thinking about no damn ear matching way back then. You in a blessed situation. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Hit that like button and subscribe so we can get started, so we can read today of what this guy have done. And this is according, and we still dealing with Dawes, Adolf Hitler. He predicts it. He predicts it. So let's go. Right? All right, let's see what he's talking about. All right, let me remove you guys down a little bit. All right. All right, this is the first real evidence found that our current social, financial, and legal system was deliberately designed to enslave humanity. In a private meeting with who? Woodrow Wilson. Now, Woodrow got the same... Now, wait. In a private meeting with who? Woodrow with himself. Press 1. Woodrow Wilson, Colonel Edward House predicted the banksters' plan to enslave American people. He stated very soon every American will be required to register biological property, DNA. That's you and your children in a national system designed to keep track of the people that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. That means the system that was in place before. okay, that's going to operate under. That's like under the law. Under what's under the law? Well, that's civil law. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda. That means he's a part of it, which will affect our society as a chargeback for our fiat paper currency. This is a thought out. Well, this is what everything we've been studying. Every American will be forced to register or suffering being able to work and earn a living. They will be our chattel property and will hold the security interest, and we will hold the security interest over them by operation of the law merchant under the scheme of secure transactions. Americans, by unknowingly, which is you, are unwittingly delivering the bills of loading, birth certificate, to us, will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, secured by their pledges. They will be stripped of their rights and given commercial value. Told you, time, commercial value designed to make us profit, and they will be none the wiser, for not one man in a million could ever figure out. Press one, not one man in a million. Press one, not one man in a million. Do you understand? Will ever be able to figure out if by accident one or two should figure it out. We have our arsenal of plausible deniability. After all, this is the only logical way to fund government, by floating the liens and debt to the registrants in the form of benefit and privileges. This will inevitably reap us huge profits beyond our wildest expectations and leave every American and contributor to the fraud, which we'll call social insurance without realizing it. Shit, every American will unknowingly be our servant. However, begrudgingly, the people will become helpless and without any hope for their redemption, as we will employ the high office presidency of our dummy corporation to foment the plot against America herself. Now, can you read? Can you read now? Now, can you read? I told you. The reason why you don't know is because you didn't take the time to figure it out. I did. God is good to me. This is real. So, but it's just that you can understand it. You can understand it now. It ain't just some cowboy. You know who that is. So you know what you're dealing with. See? No man figured this out. They have plausible deniability. Press one. We got them on tape, on record, saying it. Oh, yeah, we plausible. Now we can hold. That's illegal in itself. That's admitted in court. Press one. That's admitted. That's self-admitted. That's what I'm saying. Hit the like button, please. Thank you. We should have over 300 likes already. This is great information. This is great. This is fun. As a matter of fact, I'm going to open up the phone lines and see if anybody want to comment. 424-209-9506. So that goes back to the trust and why you were labeled a 13th and 14th Amendment, and how your reparations was paid back with crack pipes and all type of shit because you sick. That's why. Colonel Edward Mandell House predicts the creation of the Strawman. Now he talks to Woodrow Wilson, which will be another character upon himself to notice. Woodrow Wilson over here in America, right? Okay, you got to be able to think on this level. Coffee and Kush TV, Cairo University, Channel 54. You on the air? What up?
What up, Kev? This is Shaka. I'm calling back in, right? So I'm listening to you talk about the human capital. And man, it reminded me of something that I found maybe 2 years ago. So we are listed as human capital under the executive order, 13037, and it's called the Commission to Study Capital Budgeting. And this was from Bill Clinton in March 3rd of 1997. The specific section that deems us as human capital, though, is Section 2B, and it says the appropriate definition of capital for federal budgeting, including use of capital for the federal government.
I get it.
It's there, though.
But it's been there since their inception. You in the thank you for that. Thank you, by the way. I don't want you to think you wrong, but I want you to know we're talking about this specific time frame in these characters. You're right. And that was because they have to, but that comes later when we explain how they're doing it in today's time. Right now, we focus on this time. You got me? So stay there with me. Stay right there. Thank you. So I get it. She right. We are it's like counted as stock, but we're going back to the inception and see and how it all started. And we'll speed back up into the future some other time. But I want you to know who these people are, right? That may be all characters of the same individuals who are passing laws unto himself. Like this has to be Satan. You understand what I'm saying? The master of disguises. I mean, there's got to be... you're talking Pope Pius, Woodrow Wilson, Edward Mandel House, Prince Ballou, Press One. Was anybody paying attention? Anjanita Moore, I know you want to type. But you ain't making no sense in my chat room. You better stop right now before you get blocked. Press 1. You about to be the block for the day. You better get it right. Listen, the focus is this. Who is it? What does the first broken chain mean? Because blacks are block that person. Block that person. Yeah, they brains already gone to another level. Coffee and Kush TV on the air.
Good day, Professor.
What's up,
Rico?
What's up, Rico? What up,
man? Hey, man, presenting great information, man. I'm glad you brought Mr. Edward Mandel House to the forefront. The creature from Jekyll Island, man. Glad you showing and Archibald Butt, but I'm gonna stay with Mr. Edward Mandel House first. So he's the one that created the Federal Reserve. Who put that plan into motion on Edward Mandel House? The one you got on the screen
so he's
right now.
He's more than a straw man. He also he also what?
Man, and he's starting the Epstein Island first.
Wait a minute. Now, talk about what you just said. Don't go off into all this other stuff. You said the Federal Reserve.
Yes, sir. I'm saying he's doing this all on the island off of Georgia, and he was brought these people. Now, how you spoke about J.P. Morgan and the ship, it's like the same way on this island. He brought people to the island, and he made them build to their plan. So they brought a plan about the Federal Reserve, and he the one who even brought the plan together. And this was I believe, in 1913. So I think the Federal Reserve was made into a couple of years after that. But when you said it, I'm bringing this up to the forefront because I did some research on it. You just brought them up. This was a little research I had was on probably like a couple of months ago, but it's just recent. But for the most part, also the Federal Reserve, he also, let me try to remember else what he did. Oh, like I say, on that island, he's creating like what you said, bringing the 13th, 14th Amendment citizen, bringing the whole act of we're going to use the bank and having those conversations with big, important people. And it's talked about it a little more, but more importantly, I know that when I want to get to Archibald Butt, because I got more information on it that's even going to tie back even to the role switching of the Pope Pius and the
wait. You're confusing me, sir. I don't even. All right, look, Rico, you just. I don't even know what you're saying, bro. I have no idea what you're saying.
You're right. You're right, big bro. Just because of Jekyll Island, I just don't want to go too much into it because I got more research on that.
All right, thank you, brother. I'm sorry, bro. I was just about to say that water world shit of repeating the same shit over, that shit ain't flying with me, bro. That shit don't mean shit to me, bro. Bro, we on this right here. You all trying to change the topic to something else. Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about? You just wasted 30 minutes and 10 minutes of my fucking time. I'm trying to... Wait a minute. You just confused the shit out of me, bro. So, we talking about this, okay? And how this man, specifically, not what you talking about, what I'm talking about. Fuck is you... What's wrong with y'all? Coffee and Kush TV, you on the air. What up?
How you doing, Professor? This is Brian King.
What's up, champ?
First off, I just wanted to tell you, last time I called, it was kind of fast. I really do appreciate all this.
Hold up. Say it again. Go ahead. Brian? What happened to Brian? Oh, Brian hung up. Who the fuck is calling me on Discord? Please, God, please. Please, not me. Please, not me. Hit the like button and subscribe. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. 424-209-9506 is the number. 424-209-9506 is the number. We're talking Colonel Edward Mandell House predicting the creation of the Strawman in the United States corporate fictional self. So he is the perfect person for the job. You get what I'm saying? He is the perfect person to be the character to pull all this shit off. To even notice and predict this, for this to go through with Woodrow Wilson, and that be the total theft of everything that the Americans owned here in the United States. And I'm over here talking about how Adolf Hitler took over America, and here's Colonel Edward Mandell House in our face. You on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? This is Brian King again.
Go ahead, King.
I was saying that I first off, I was giving you your flowers a little bit, just letting you know I really appreciate all the information, especially like this last week. It's just been so fire, and I love, how you moving on it. When you got Edward Mandell House up here, when I was just following along, going to, the Strawman, and this time, also with, I end up coming across John D. Rockefeller, and when I'm looking at Mandell House, and I'm looking at it kind of looks like him if you throw a hat on him.
You know what?
They look very much alike.
You are onto something, because I'm like, what is... Damn, man. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So that goes from me looking at, hold on, because I'm doing my research as we go. I was looking at U.S. federal taxes that came in 1860.
Oh,
let me go back.
Goodness.
Because when it came with this, that's how I came to him. Because when I was looking at the history of the taxation that happened in the United States, that's when I came across the estate and gift taxes. And that's how we learned that's how those charitable uses and organizations pass things, and the benefit and different things like that is through estate and gift taxes and stuff like that. And so Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller were the main people that were for the increase of inheritance taxes. and also that was around the time of Theodore Roosevelt. And so when you just had that guy up there, it was something that I just had up here. Hold on, I'm looking back.
Take your time, because you're not confusing. You're studying. You on your shit, bruh. And I commend you on just staying on topic, Brian, because it's so hard to just stay be consistent in a sound mind and not all over the place. And I really commend you on keeping a sound mind when doing this, because this is important information that needs to be put and not confusing. Put it in a simple terminology. It's not that hard for people who are like willing to listen. And we got people who are pretty much willing to listen. You just made me think of something when you said John D. Rockefeller, because he resembles John D. a lot.
Yes. Yeah. So what I was about to pull up, as I'm pulling up, because Grant he did something really crazy when he was when he was president. That's what I'm pulling up right here to talk about that, because this is all in the same time frame. And here it is right here. So here it is.
Straight ahead, straight at us. Damn. Ears, bottom earlobe stuck to the face. Ear cuffing at the oh my goodness. And his face looked like he's wearing a ton of makeup. So you may be onto something. His nose looks straight, but straight. If he was facing straight, it would. You may be onto something, sir. Go ahead.
I'm trying to. I just messed up my. You know how you like on the browser and you click off, and I'm trying to go back to how I get to this point. But I was trying to talk about this tax right here, and when he was saying, he was explaining how this guy said that they were going to come with. I got to find that article, what you just had about Mr. Edward Amhouse. That sparked my brain on something when he was talking about how they were going to have the people as cattle. And that's when I came across something about U.S. Grant. And then, You know what, Professor? Give me a few minutes. Let me gather it the right way so I can just be able to speak right away and not hold up, the airways. But I'm going to call.
Thank you, champion.
So I can present the right way.
My man. My man. So, thinking about it, I mean, banking, Strawman, John D. Rockefeller. Yes. Oh, now you really got my attention with this earth nose looking. Yes. Yes. Keep thinking. Right there along the guy. My man said, not that he just looked like him, that he could be him with that square ass chin, but the fact that along the same guidelines, listen, that would be the traits of someone like, wait a minute, John D. Rockefeller. And lo and behold, it's like not too far-fetched than one thing. Coffee and Kush TV, Cairo University. You on the air. What up?
Hey, my fault, Professor. This week I had to go get my notes together. I'm coming back to present the info correctly and in a simple, easy way so people can understand. So let me get back to Mr. Edward Mandel House, who he served the international bankers who met in the secret on Jekyll Island on October 1910 to create the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
And they saying,
so he met with who?
He served these international bankers. And if you check your Instagram right now, because I just sent you a picture.
I know you did. I saw you. I said, Rico ain't gonna motherfucking stop. Look at this nigga, man. He ain't gonna stop.
Like you already Lord mentioned, but look, just click on this link right here. that I sent you, the specific link, because you'll be able to see all the bankers that he's saying he met with. It's the puppet masters of debt.
Okay.
So when you look on that little, and you scroll down, you just scroll
so
down
just
it.
tell me, I don't want to look too far into it, but tell me about the Jekyll Island and move forward. Go ahead.
Because John D. Rockefeller is on that list. That's why it's cool, because John D. Rockefeller was right there. And but let me say this. So they signed into law the Federal Reserve Act December 23rd, 1913, which handed over control of the money system to a small group of private bankers. It signed into law the 16th Amendment February the 3rd, 1913, which created herefore unconstitutional income tax. And there's two more, and this is all what Adolh Manor House brought to the bankers in 1910. So I'm gonna read these two more, but this is what he put in place. They were saying this was Wilson signed, but it was Manor House ideas. So the third one was tricked Americans into entering World War I after promising he wouldn't, seeing the sinking of the RMS Lusitania. And then the fourth one was attempted to create the first world government, League of Nations, which was later replaced by the UN, the United Nations. And like I say, what is generally known is that none of these were Wilson's ideas. They emanated from Edward Manor House, who served those international bankers who met in secret on Jekyll Island, October of 1910, to create the Federal Reserve. And that's why I sent you that picture of Lord Messi, because there's some old Theodore Roosevelt, Archibald Butt. Now, what happened was, I had to go get the notes on Jekyll Island, but I'm really focused in on Archibald Butt. So I really want to bring them up because it just really ties into why it makes sense why you even brought up the Jekyll Island dude right here. And remember how you showing these characters and characters, because they are really bankers too at the same time.
Yeah, that's like Archibald Butt. Archibald Butt died on the Titanic, right? But he looked exactly like J.P. Morgan Sr.
Man, J.P. Morgan Sr., he looking like Theodore Roosevelt, like you said, 27, whoever said he looking younger. And I want to read this little information I got on him because it's fire. Because they saying they let me get to it. Because this a bad boy, man. Mr. Archibald Butt is a bad boy.
All right, let me
pull him up real
Archibald
quick.
Butt
down right here.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I zeroed in on him. Let me zero right back in on him. Hold on one second. 1866. I just had it right here. 1889. Palestine. Okay, President Roosevelt, Titanic includes. Is this it right here?
Let me put Archibald Butt on the screen so people can remember who Archibald is for a second. This would be Archibald. This would be Archibald Butt. Remember him, y'all. Remember Archibald. But go ahead.
I'm right here trying to zero in on the professor. It's an article, and I'm trying to, because I had it backed up, and then I had to pull forward. I'm right here on it, trying to see, because there's only two paragraphs that I need to read. It's zeroed in right on him coming, because he really going to meet. He's going to meet the Pope under Taft's orders, and then he's going to do something for Theodore Roosevelt, to go again meet the Pope again on some stuff. So I just want to kind of zero in on that. He's getting the he's doing something about the World War I. And that's why. So let me find it, and I'm gonna call right back,
sir.
Because it was about.
No, bro. You can just continue to talk about Rockefeller and the rest of the stuff, bro. No, that's your problem. You fucked up. That's on you. I'm about to move forward. That's what I'm about to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because I didn't, man. It's right here.
All right, man. Find it. You're not running my show. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? That's what they're not doing, bro. You just a ball of confusion. Get it together, bro. Get it together. Get it together, bro. This is the Puppet Masters of Debt. Right here. Puppet Masters of Debt, huh? Let's go down this list, right? That he was talking about. And that's what I meant by Mr. Butts look like him, don't he? Don't Mr. Butts look like this guy, J.P. Morgan Sr.? Press 1. Now, wait for it. Here comes Seymour, right? Let's get Seymour on the field. Bro, Bruh. He dies on the ship that this guy controls. Think about it. Think about it. Think about that. John D. Rockefeller. Right? Let's go all the way down. You know, this guy looked like Carnegie or that looked like Benjamin Harris. Press one. This motherfucker looked like Benjamin Harris, the president. Press one.
Again,
Coffee and Kush TV on the air. What up?
Nah, I hadn't found it right here, Professor. I started reading it. I didn't even know you hung up. They said Butt was on no official business, but on anti-Catholic newspapers and politicians accused Butt of being on a secret mission to win the support of Pope Pius X in the upcoming election.
Right.
Now, this right in 1940.
They're all the same individual.
Right. So that's Woodrow Wilson. So what they saying, and look, they put it saying the RMS Titanic. Now, I just read the RMS about the who we just was speaking out, Miss Amanda House, starting the World War I off the RMS Lusitania. So, like you said, these boats, we definitely got to do the when it comes to who owning the RMS and what. I don't know what the
J.P. Morgan will own the RMS. So
okay.
World War I is based off of the war, the sinking of J.P. Morgan ships. Okay.
Yes, sir. And that's why. Okay, so that's important because they saying that this Archibald, but also when he get down to it, they gonna say it was like he was fighting Archibald, but when he went to go fight World War I, it was like him fighting America fighting against King Leopold II. So that was brought to my attention too, and it's in the same little article. But I just want to bring it up because everything what you're saying about these characters and characters
is showing us. I got you. I got you.
Yes, sir. So I appreciate you.
That's it. Thank you, man. Y'all stop. Just stop. Just stop, bro. Y'all just a big ball of confusion of conspiracy sounding, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm not. Don't call me to thank me in the middle of class that everything that I'm saying you don't found on the internet. No. If you knew what we doing on my whatchamacallit, Discord, y'all will be in tune, but you not. Y'all niggas is like so far like back, not focused on the reality of it, just trying to present information like you this. No, bro, that shit is confusing as fuck. No. Coffee and Kush TV, you on the air. What up?
Hello, Professor. This is Benjamin from South Africa.
South Africa in the building. What's happening?
I was just researching on some of your stuff, and I came across some information that I think might be useful to you since you are speaking on the Nazis at the moment.
Talk to me, King.
So remember, I'm not sure if you remember the last time we spoke. I think it was about last month or so.
Yes, sir.
And I was telling you about the Cape Colony in South Africa.
Yes, sir.
And so the Cape Colony in South Africa was the British Royal Colony. It was one of the royal colonies, which are in America and South Africa, from what I've got so far.
Right.
So the 13 royal colonies of America are symbolized here in South Africa by the 13 high courts. And those courts to us are the temples whereby all the kings would meet. And all the kings are the men in my culture. So those guys are the 1820 settlers that came from over there in England, because this is Ireland. So Ireland has 5 kingdoms. And just like the Amaxosa have the 5 kingdoms, which were all under the King of Kings, which would be King George, who is the overseer of all the colonies. So that means the Scots, the Irish, and the English. The English, since we were brothers by marriage, and so we had English names that unfortunately were all stolen. So through the native labor corps. So what happened was there was an order from Great Britain, and at the time where you guys over there had just been overthrown by the Germans through Cecil Rhodes on our side, who is another character that is playing King George V, because our last king was King William. And so we have all these towns along the coast of the Amaxosa nations, which would be George is one of those towns. King William's Town is one of those towns, and East London also is one of those towns. And so what happened was Germany established a colony in what today is called Namibia and Bechuanaland. By the names of Hoffman, because that's another surname that I came across, and I did come across of a video of a guy. And as I discovered in my research, this Hoffman guy was in charge of the propaganda campaigns that were under Paul Joseph Goebbels. Yeah, he was a Nazi politician, and he was stationed in Berlin. He was the chief propagandist of the Nazi party after 1945.
What's his name?
So
Huffington?
he sat there
what's his
for
name? Huffington?
Hoffman. So it's
Hoffman.
Yes, sir. So that's a German surname.
Yeah.
And so all those guys, all those people that were coming from over there, they came through what is called the Orange River. So the Orange River is what pours into the sea from South Africa, and it sort of connects a little bit with what was the German Reich in Namibia. So Namibia also has a Holocaust that happened in World War II, by the way. That was covered up. So it's called the Namaquad Holocaust. And I discovered a lot of things like, so this guy was...
So they got a habit of causing this Holocaust in a way to get rid of the organic people of that land for them to establish colony.
Exactly. And so most of our great-grandfathers were in war because they were called to French ports. And so when I researched more into those French ports, there was that whole Napoleon Revolution thing, which was a whole propaganda machine. Because the colonies had been overthrown, and most of our men didn't know what they were getting themselves into, because they fought for the French. So you kept asking, like, how did you become the swastika bearer?
That's right.
And so most of our men did fight under the banner of the swastika, which would be the South African Red Cross.
Got you.
Because the South African Red Cross had a military base, which was in Robben Island, which was where political prisoners, quote unquote, were kept. And it was also an asylum, which I discovered. I started researching into. It was an island asylum, which was under the. So let's see here. Also, by the way, the name of the Hoffman guy is Heinrich Hoffman. That was in 1885. And so we also had. What is this thing? Sorry, my notes are sort of everywhere at the moment, bro. But we also had a woman's missionary. So it was the South African Women's Auxiliary Military Unit. So those were all the nurses which were under the Red Cross back then. So they were managing the asylums, because since the men were all out at war, it appears to me as if the women were all taken and committed to asylums in Robben Island. So that is also ironically where a lot of those guys were coming in. So that's where they were changing names.
Heinrich Hoffman was a good friend of Adolf Hitler.
Exactly.
They're all the same military.
So he was.
Yeah, sir.
He was the guy who was in charge of all the propaganda. And what stunned me the most was so there is that Irish leaf that has three sides, so that would be the clover. So I kept looking at you sometimes, like when you were doing that presidential finger thing, and I was like, when did this guy learn this thing? Because for us, that is for kinship, because for us, we have a tradition whereby once you get circumcised, you not only become a man, but you also become a king. And so you have a seat in the court, which would be the elective council, which elects kings by birthright and by divine blood,
right,
which is ascension to the throne. And so I also underwent that ritual. And it's sort of dying out because the media is playing a lot of propaganda with it as they try to discredit and kill cultures. because they are culture vultures in a way. And so we have a special type of clothing that we wear, which is very, very similar to those old English clothes that our grandfathers used to wear, great-grandfathers, by the way.
Yes.
And the name of the clothing brand is Nevada. And Nevada is Nevada, so that came from Nevada, California. That was brought in by the English 1820 settlers, which came here as a military unit to assist us against the Batavian Republic. And the Batavian Republic is the French Empire. So that was the Dutch East India Company, which nationalized itself after they said, we are tired now of being indentured servants under the Batavian Republic, which is also the Prussian Empire, which was in Namibia. And so in those asylums, there were also crematoriums and concentration camps all over the Cape Colony. And that's another thing that we were never taught in school, but we were taught about the Holocaust and Nazi Germany and the Bolshevik revolutions and all that.
That's right.
Junior. So that was a long time ago, and I was like, but why are they teaching us this history instead of the history they said is ours, which would be the savages, which were mostly paintings throwing spears at those guys who were fighting with guns and cannons against us. And I was wondering, like, how can spears hold off cannons and guns for over 100 years? So that's an entire century that we are not really taught about. So that is the 100 years that I've realized that is missing from history, because they say we're in the 21st century. But when I really look at the calendar, we are in the 2000s. So that is the 20th century. The 21st century would be in 2100. So that would be the 20th century. So I realized that in this history,
so you realize there's a whole missing history of 100 years, and there is a addition onto history to give them credibility in the footprint of history in your lands. So that's incredible, isn't it? You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. I get you, bro. Like, I get you. And as I said before, we did call King George Usomagwaza. Usomagwaza is the first king, the king of kings. That is the position of the ruler that sits on top of those other kingdoms from Ireland, which would be the 5 kingdoms,
That's
Scotland. Right. And another thing was the World Fairs. That's another thing that I looked into.
I know you guys had World's Fair. Talk to me.
We had a World Fair in I don't have all my notes in front of me, unfortunately, but I will definitely try to forward you all the information. But we did have a World Fair in the Cape Colony. And what happened was they speak about bombing air raids that were conducted throughout the whole colony while the men were away. So that was during World War One,
and the war was going on behind them.
And they were pouring in, and it was mostly Russian Jews, Dutch Jews. Oh, I didn't even know that Russians had Jews and all that, but I did when I discovered that they are really the Khazars and the Ashkenazis. We had a lot of them moving in, and I also realized why the Dutch were allied much with Germany. So they also had a Nazi-ish party thing going on here, and they founded a lot of proxy organizations like the ANC, which is under the Red Cross, because the ANC was, from its inception, established by Saul Plaatje, and that guy was raised under German missionaries, which I take for a foreign military unit that is indoctrinating him in some way. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not even sure if all these people are us, because I discovered that the Zulus are not even part of our fucking history. They came here as the Portuguese, just like Christopher Columbus on your side was man. They also came, but we have discovered that they are the only ones that don't practice
what you think about this character?
The right of
what you think about this character I got on the screen playing a Germanic role, like a Rockefeller, then an American born, both with the same obligation of creating a straw man. Now you said you guys had English names by way of being descent, of
yes.
course, because
we had.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and we had English names by way of King George, and all of a sudden,
Right.
English names to us, they were our middle names, and so our middle names were just cut off like that. We lost them, and all of a sudden, all these guys, which were the military units under Jan van Riebeeck, who was the guy who was controlling the Batavian Republic at the time, which was the Cape, the Dutch Cape. I'm getting played now, so you're gonna have to forgive me. But it was the Dutch East India Company, which became incorporated under the Union of South Africa. So the Union was a cluster of provinces. Our royal province in the Cape of Good Hope. I also spotted that in the Bible somewhere in the book of Acts, I think, the colony of Good Hope, which was under the Commonwealth. And now it's all starting to make sense because when I'm reading the Bible, I'm no longer in the metaphysics. I can see it here right in front of me, history playing itself out. And so there was a union which was created. It was created between our colony, but for us, we couldn't have elected those representatives because all our electors were out fighting at war at the time.
Right.
That is why South Africa
Same process here. Go ahead. Same process. Go
exactly. That's why everything you say is like I'm looking at a mirror.
So you're in where you at? Where you at? South Africa?
Yeah, I'm in South Africa, Cape Town at the moment. So Cape Town is where we have the High Court. And then I'm looking at also, there was a movie that I watched in it was a couple of years ago, but the name of the movie is 2012. So there was a whole deluge there. It's like the waters were overtaking everything. There were earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis and everything. So everything was chaos. And these people escaped in arks. And the only remaining place in the world was the colony of the Cape of Good Hope. They said because of the chain, which is it's a mountain chain. It's a mountain chain. That is where our highest court sits. It is where the East India Company came from. So I realized that if we are East London, because we have East London in the Cape Colony, then you guys would be West London, because in our history we also have something about the Westerners, like the lands in the West and all of that. So there is a lot of buried history, and it came with a lot of I don't even know how to put it into. It's like I just want to compile it, but it's just the Lord keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. So all these guys that are here right now, it's everlasting. It's like the unending story, as you usually say, because all of these guys, when they come here, they suddenly get English names, and they don't even know how to speak English first and foremost.
Right.
They speak Dutch. They all speak Dutch, and before we were called Black African in 1950 through the Reclassification Act, which was illegal.
So wait. So you guys went through a Reclassification Act, and they made you guys African.
Yes, they made us Africans. Not just Africans, Black Africans.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me put my face on the screen. Wait a minute. I gotta put my face. Hold on. I gotta hit my bell one time for Sonetta. So tell I gotta hit this one.
Shame.
So they reclassified us, and after that they enacted all the laws that would give birth to the apartheid system. So the segregation laws, whereby we were stuffed into reservations called Bantustans because we were Africans. We were no longer. So
an African makes you a slave.
It makes you a slave and a foreigner, like in your own land.
No, because they telling us we don't belong on this land to go back to Africa, and there are black Cubans telling us we belong in Africa, but Africa is nowhere. There's no such thing in Africa because it's still foreign.
There is no such place. There is no such place called Africa.
Come on.
There is no such place called Africa. Me being called an African legally, it made me lose all my stuff. So it disconnected me from the crown. It cut me off from the law, and a lot of suffering appeared after that. And they set up phony organizations like the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was managed by Catholics and people who are under the Iron Cross.
That's like the Dawes Act. That's like the Dawes Act, the Dawes Commission.
Exactly. And in 1913, they passed the Black Law Land Act, which took all our lands and put them in a trust, which is the trust that they are managing now and are distributing to themselves because they take in this forest. I don't even know where these people come from. Like they come here and get our benefits.
Oh, give us a hug.
Who are you?
African Americans and Africans need to come together and give each other one big hug and look at this demon.
We have been saying so. Oh, these guys, they did a number on us, bro. They did a number on us. They did a number on us, and because and in 19, that's my birthday, by the way. On the 18th of December, 1996, that is when this new corporation was born. So when the corporation was born, ironically, I was born too on the 18th of December, 1996.
When was Africa born? What was Africa born?
South Africa, as we know it, was established in that was 1968, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was 1968. That is when we ceased to become a royal colony under King George and King William and King George IV, who was stripped of his title, like the royal title of nobility. He was stripped of that, and he fled. He came from England. We call it England in my language, which is the land of angels, Ingelosi. Amalungu, like membership, and a lot of words like that just seem to denote to some type of trust being split between these individuals, because King George V is Cecil Rhodes. You can Google images.
That's what I'm saying.
Of these
I know that all these people are Romanos and all types of things.
There is this famous. They are Romanos, all of them. They come from the Black Sea. And they are the real blacks, by the way, because they come from the Black Sea, and in the Black Sea, they splattered this black mud.
Well, the Black Sea, the black people, the Black's law, the black dead, the black equals dead. So they don't want to be black.
They are the dead.
They are the dead. They are the people.
But they are black. They should accept it because they are black.
Yes,
they are black because they have no legal standing here to
at all.
Even own anything. They had to establish.
So let me get this straight. So under the king, they have no legal jurisdiction. But
they have no legal jurisdiction. That is why they had to reclassify us and incorporate us. Exactly, they incorporated our names and then they are trading them in the JSE, just like with you guys over there. They are trading your names in the New York Stock Exchange. And what I discovered about the black mud also is that is an article that was speaking about the war between Russia and Ukraine, and they were like, will the mud stop the Russians from advancing into Ukraine? And I'm like, that the mud. So this mud is the mud that they smelt on their faces to protect them from the UV rays, as they say, which is the sunscreen. Because if you look at them under the UV light, when they put on that, because Africa is very hot. Like South Africa, not Africa, because that doesn't exist. South Africa is very hot. And so the region of which they come through, which is in Namibia, is a whole desert. So they have to be stationed there until they are sold a name or a bond, which is a name of the deceased. And many of our parents and elders, mostly elders, they died now because of these COVID vaccination things, because they would put in that thing.
So they get the names from the dead people, and then they get the names born from the again. Dead people.
That is all, and then they are born again, and then they are born again, and it's like they really played us in such a way that they want to completely confuse you and disorient you, so you don't even know which way is up, which way is down,
That's right.
which history is real and which history is false.
That's
because
right.
they also sent out a group of German POWs from Namibia, and they were circled in British Kaffraria. So that would be the province in the Eastern Cape, in the Irish kingdoms. So there was a couple of POW units which were from the colony of Prussia, which was in Namibia, that was settled in British Kaffraria. And the reason they called us, because just like you guys were called Negroes over there as a derogatory term, or monkeys and all that, they were using that on this side also, but to us they called us Kafirs, which means non-believers. And when I read this Kafir term, it's like we were the only ones, like Amakosa kingdoms, they were the only ones that were called Kafirs out of the whole of South Africa. Out of all these quote-unquote African tribes, they had to just single us out. And ironically, we were also the only tribe which was under King George at the time. And when I realized, I did some research into what the meaning of the word Kafir means. It just means non. They try to. Russia are the French, which are the crescent moon worshippers. So that is their whole religion. That is Catholicism.
The French are the crescent moon worshippers?
Yeah, the French are the bearers of the crescent moon. That is what I realized. Those are the Dutch. So when we hear about the Prussian Empire, Europe is still ruled by kings. Those are the Dukes of Edom. And so one of those, which would be West Empire, because the double-headed eagle represents the Byzantine Empire in the east, and is this other thing, the Western Empire in the west. So the Western Empire is based in France, and the Eastern Empire, or the Byzantine Empire, is now what you would call Russia. And if you look at the hammer and sickle of the CCP, which would be the Soviet Union, it's the same hammer and sickle that is used by the Communist Party of China. And that sickle, that sickle is the sickle of Satan. That is the crescent moon that they worship. So that is the god of harvest to them, who is also the god of death. So who were they harvesting? They were harvesting the wheat. So it's like they are cutting redwood trees, and over here they are cutting wheat, which all those are people that were exterminated
so
during the
everything.
Holocaust.
So the redwood tree is actually people, as well as, so it's actually just metaphorically for these. So cutting down all the redwood trees in California pretty much means shooting all the niggas, getting them up out of there, and stacking them up like logs. And by way, yeah, I know, I hear what you're saying, champion. Go ahead.
And they also had trains. Cecil Rhodes had trains. So he had the railway, which was the Cape to Cairo project. So there were trains moving in from what today they call Egypt from here, South Africa. So it is said that in these trains they were moving minerals. So that was gold and diamonds and all that. That is why after the bitch died, Elizabeth, there was a bit of commotion within what is the Eastern Cape and Western Cape and all that, like for them to return the crown back to its original owners, which would be King George Washington Gillespie, who was presiding over all the kingdoms. Like all the kingdoms were under him. Like we had our own Irish kings, but we also had the King of Kings, which was the Son of God, who held authority across the ocean. That is why when we were attacked during World War I, we received reinforcements in 1920 from England, which were your men. So we were tied through the legal systems because the courts are the temples, and our names were recorded in the home Bible. And that's another thing that we have in common, is that we both had home Bibles that at the end, they had empty pages whereby you would record every birth, death, or adoption. And so a lot of these people came through adoption because they were being sent here as refugees under the Red Cross, and many of them were children. And so what happened was during the World Fair, which was called the Cape Exhibition back then, the exhibition of the Cape Colony.
That's right.
Belgium, along with Italy, along with Germany, along with there are a lot. I'm forgetting some of them, but France was also in the mix there, and Bulgaria was also in the mix. So a lot of those Eastern
Poland,
Eastern nations, which are all
Turks.
And that's when they were coming in. And what happened is, as soon as they came here and started the fairs at 3:30 p.m., so there was a huge fire. So that huge fire engulfed the Scottish Mason Lodge, and next to it, along with it, it engulfed also the Native Relations offices. So that is where we kept all our records and all of that. And all of this was accompanied by a lot of raids which were conducted in our cities throughout the Cape Colony, which led us to being committed to internment camps under the Red Cross, which was established by the guy, King George the Fifth, who is Cecil Rhodes. And Cecil Rhodes, his name is not even Cecil, his name is something else, which is German, because these guys had nothing to do with English. They could not even speak English, let alone read and write. They called themselves the Rapaport when they came here.
They called themselves
and them
what?
being
They
united,
called themselves what?
The Rapaport.
Oh, that sounds
So
like
they call
the
themselves
Indians or
Boers.
something. Go ahead.
Exactly. Because Hitler did have an Indian regiment, an Indian unit under him. Just like he also had a Chinese alliance of some sort. Just like over there, he was allied with the Japanese. So they did the same thing over here, but with the Chinese and the people who call themselves Indians today. So it's mostly all of them are under the Iranian race things, because they come from northern India, which is in Europe, because Europe and Asia is really all Eurasia. So there are no borders between Asia and Europe. So they are all Eurasia. So that's just where they come from. Because these are different nations, but when they are all here, they are all South African, and we are the only ones without an identity, you see. And we always come last, like in everything. Foreigners come here, they are given subsidies, because there's something they call it the BEE Act, which is the Black Economic Empowerment Act, which was supposedly created for us since we were made black. But Chinese people are in that trust, so they are benefiting there. When they come here,
they are also in the Black Trust as well?
There is the Chinese, the Indians, the now colors, which are really Dutch.
I told you. So they are all using our names to embed themselves, but yet keep you down.
Exactly.
So what do you think?
Exactly.
So what do you think? Let me ask you a question. What do you think needs to happen? You see, I got the Rockefellers and stuff up here. This is great conversation. But what do you think politically needs to happen across the waters to the Americas, dealing with African Americans and what do you think?
I think we need. I think we need to go back to common law, because South Africa is under Roman Dutch civil law. That law was established when we were legally made black. We were put under Roman Dutch civil law. So that's also when we lost pretty much all of our rights.
You lost your whole status.
Then we were made. Yeah, we lost our whole status. And then they tried to give us a new false history, which was brought by Rockefeller, because Rockefeller founded all of our modern day education system, which started off as the Bantu Education Act, which was implemented.
What did they say? Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a silly question, okay? You ready? They tell us we come from Africa. Where did they tell y'all came from?
They told us we come from over there in Africa. And Africa is up north. It's not even here in South Africa. It's up north.
So
it's in the Mediterranean basin. So it's a corporation in Tunisia. That is Africa. It's the corporation in Tunisia.
So they tell
So
you
it's all-
from Africa, from Tunisia, and they tell us we from Africa and somewhere around there.
Exactly. And Tunisia is under Constantinople, and Constantinople is the capital of the Byzantine Empire, which is the Russians. And the first pope, who is Peter the Great, who was the Tsar in Russia responsible for
He started.
modernizing.
Peter the Great is the head of the. You know who Peter the Great is, right? I
don't know many of his characters.
Let me tell you.
But
Let me tell you one. Let me tell you. Peter is the first pope of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I came across that too. Like, this guy is a czar in Russia, and he's also the first pope. Like, how does that? And then there's St. Petersburg over there, and St. Peter's Basilica over here. Like, this is all one person, and one is in charge of the Russian Empire, and the other one is in charge of the religious side of things, which is the Catholic Church. And then I'm like, damn. Well, this is really one person. It's the same guys playing different roles.
The Catholic Church, the Catholic Church is behind the Red Cross.
Exactly. That's another thing that I noticed, because many of our native labor corps soldiers, which was our native military, which was our National Guard, they went to fight under the Red Cross. And it always confused me, like,
wait a minute.
Wait a minute,
sir. Wait, before you move forward, let me hit this button real quick.
Not like this. Not like this.
So you telling me that your birthright national defense went to fight for the Red Cross? And what happened to them?
Exactly. They never came back. It's like they left black and came back white, because all our ports started being filled with a lot of these white people. By white, I mean a lot of Europeans and a lot of Indians over there, a lot of Arab men over there. Like, all these nations consolidated under this one identity of whiteness, when we suddenly became black Africans. And before that, we were called coloreds, but now coloreds are another one of those ethnicities that come from over there. So they are what you would call the Black Dutch from Malaysia. And then I'm like, there was also this thing in Indonesia about the Dutch East India Company coming from over there. And when I look at those people over there, they have the same phenotype as the people over here who are now calling themselves colored. And we had a caste system back then. So it was about status. So you were white, then you were Indian, then you were colored, then you were black African. And we were made black Africans. We skipped all the way from white, because we still have a word for white in my native language, which would be umdu omhlophe. And umdu omhlophe, which means white person, does not mean race. It means holy person. Ka umhlophe, when you are white, you are a holy person, a person of nobility.
That's right.
That is what umhlophe, whiteness, means. And then ubumnyama would be something like a shadow, which would be blackness. So they are the dead, because they assumed the names of all those ancestors that we had who went to war and never came back, and suddenly they popped up with new English names and all that, because they couldn't even speak English when they came here. The Dutch Jews couldn't speak English, the Russian Jews couldn't speak English, the Belgian Jews couldn't speak English. None of them could speak English. They had to be taught that. They were all speaking Dutch, which is German. And they were all under the French Empire. which became the Batavian Republic for a brief time, and then they nationalized themselves over here in Natal. And after they nationalized themselves, because they had our names at that point.
What year did this mass nationalization take place?
It was between the wars between the British Empire and the Dutch Republic. So this was in the late 1800s, I think. So late 1800s all the way to 1918. That was when all the wars were taking place.
Go ahead.
And so when I looked at Ireland in time immemorial, because they put Ireland in time immemorial.
Yes.
And then we have our history, which never really makes sense. In Ireland, there were the Normans. And then I really looked at who these Normans were. It says they are mostly of nomadic origin. So
right.
The nomadics are the Vikings. So they come from up north. Those are the French. Those are all those people over there calling themselves English and white today in Europe.
Yeah, like the Czechs,
and so
the
Normans,
Czechoslovakians,
like the Czechs,
yeah.
Slovakians, all those people, they are the nomadic tribes.
Yeah.
And so when they came here, what they did is, in their time immemorial history that they wrote, it says that the nomadic tribes invaded Ireland. And there was a 9-year war that was fought. And when I look at our side of the story, it says that there were 9 wars. Those are the 9 frontier wars which we fought with the Dutch, the invading Dutch forces. And simultaneously, around the same time, the British are fighting with these same Dutch people that are invading the colony. In the same area, we are fighting these people, but we are somehow.
The British at the time in the 1800s was all about just protecting its borders and its boundaries from outside. Corporate incorporated Orthodox Christian so-called church involvement.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
And they try to change their name. They try to push that Catholic identity away when they came here and said, no, we are Reformed Catholic. So there's now the Dutch Reformed Church, which is really Catholicism. That is what it's really, it really is. It's the same Catholic Church, just now they are Reformed, quote unquote. But they are still all under one banner, and that banner sits in Luxembourg. And Luxembourg sits in France, between France, Germany, and was it Switzerland or the Netherlands? I'm not sure. But it's a landlocked country. That is what it is. It's a landlocked country. And so
a landlocked country, right? That means it was allotted out and parceled out. Got you. Exactly.
It's landlocked between all those nations which would now be the French Empire. That is where it's landlocked. All those empires and nations which would be now under the French, that is where those same people are. So I noticed that all the bones were moved to a port in an island, a tiny island over there next to France. They call it Mahon. Mahon, M-A-H-O-N. So that is where all the bones were moved, and that is how they ended up in a crypt under the Catholic Church and all of that.
Oh, my goodness.
So that is where they were taking the names. So they were taken through French ports here, which were the Batavian Republic, and they were taken and shipped off to that island that they call Mahon, which was under France, and then they somehow shipped the bones and put them under the Vatican and in Paris also. So they moved the bones also to Paris, and all of a sudden, all these new people started flowing in, and they were all under the Red Cross, and the Red Cross was stationed in Robben Island. And Robben Island is where they were keeping all the women because they were female asylum camps over there, which were managed by these these white women, that they call themselves the Auxiliary Air Force, something like that. But let me just check the name. But this was a military. Just like over there, they had those nurses which were in charge.
Yeah, that was military. Yeah, people think they were just nurses.
Yeah,
no, that's military.
The brown uniforms and the white uniforms as well.
That's what I'm saying. The brown uniforms over here, it don't look good. That's like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts who turned Red Cross. They was all intertwined with destroying.
All of them. All of them. And so it like all makes sense, like how it came to this point. And there is a lot of filth that they tried to cover up, a lot of murders that were going on, because we were, I didn't even know that my ancestors, like my great grandfather, my grandmother's father, or my grandfather's father was served in the World Wars, like in World War One, in World War Two, and all of that. Like we are not taught that unless you really look into it, and then it conflicts with the.
It's like, damn, we were in there, and then when you look into that, you realize, wait a minute, they never came back under the Red Cross. Damn, that's like, and ever since that's scary.
It is because now I realize that. I think I've watched the movie They Live We Sleep about 7 times already, and now it's like all making sense. Like these dead people are these people that came here through the assumed identities of our dead soldiers and our women, which were put into asylums in Robben Island, because they also never came back. The women which were committed to Robben Island, because Robben Island is just like Alcatraz over there. So it went from being a military base to being an asylum to being a maximum security prison.
And they never came back.
So all the people that went in there, they never came out. And ironically, there's a church there. There's a church that was in charge of all the asylums, and it was under the Red Cross. It was the Catholic Church. And so, like, I agree absolutely with everything you are saying, Professor. Like you just said things straight for me. Because looking at your history over there, like my history started making sense, because it's like I was looking straight into a mirror. It's like, what? This looks like that. But I'm over here and they're over there. Then that means, and then it all clicked when I realized
people
that
running the trick. So just think of it like this.
Exactly.
The characters over there doing that to you under the let's say the Prussian or Byzantine or these people with these funny hats, right? With these little Turkish.
That was the Prussians.
Yeah, okay. They're over here doing the same thing. But then we got the Buffalo soldiers in full Prussia uniforms, right? I promise you, bro.
And exactly. And over here we have those same black Germans over here. We have those same black Germans with those funny looking hats, which look like those Moorish hats. They were also fighting for the Prussian armies. So that was the French army. Those are the POWs that were sent into British Kaffraria. So as it would seem, since all the men were gone and all the women were committed to asylum in Robben Island, it was mostly children. That is why now there's a story of wanderers, like the wanderers. Like, what does this mean, the children wanderers? And all the children come to find over here, they were left without parents. And these are adopted ones.
So they needed to be adopted.
Under the guys.
So their children are adopted.
Exactly.
You guys' children are adopted. They would adopt y'all children and acquire the assets to what's owed to those children, of course, by war and a lot that was going on. Boom, it's the same thing, bro. It's the same play by the same individuals, and they knew what they were doing. And like you said, you guys are educated by Rockefeller. We were too. The same thing. So coming out of that mind control, it's just a blessing to hear somebody on the other side of the world confirm it's the that we ain't bugging out. It's the same plays on both sides of the world dealing with the same type of people. Go ahead. Oh, let me ask you this. Did you guys go through a Planned Parenthood sterilized process, Margaret Sanger, and they just destroyed and genocide? Go ahead. Talk to me about this a little bit.
I almost left that part out.
Me too. We did, Thank you, somebody in the chat room. They brought it up. Go ahead.
We did undergo a Planned Parenthood program. So that was also tied to the asylum. So it had to do with something about controlling the reproduction, because we suddenly became tenants in our own lands, and so we were no longer capable of taking care of ourselves.
Competent. So you were incompetent.
Yeah, we were incompetent. We were legally infirmed, and so if you are legally infirmed, you are a minor in your own land. So you are a minor.
Goodness.
Because since you are legally disconnected from your land, your resources, like anything of value,
you got to go through.
You became incorporated. You were born in C-section. Exactly. You were born under the C-section. You were born under the bankruptcy, and so you had to be taken care of because legally you were dead. And so the Red Cross was going to take care of you. That means they were going to, since it was a state of emergency, they had to bend a few laws so that they can get to your reproductive rights. And that is when they were pushing all this stuff about reproductive rights for women and all that, abortions, promoting all that stuff. And even to this day, there are over 500,000 children that are aborted each year. And all these laws are passed by the ANC, which we know is really the Russian. They were founded and supported militarily by the Soviet Union. So they are an extension of the Soviet wing. And that the National Party also, they were absorbed by the ANC, and the National Party is the party that was in charge during the apartheid era. So those people who said they were the National Party, they were Dutch after they nationalized themselves, and then they went on a killing spree, confiscating lands. Even Cecil Rose, I think he has a mineral resources trust or something. That is where he extracted all our gold and all our diamonds. And then they kept them over there in Swiss banks. And Switzerland is also one of the countries that I left out.
That's the Lloyds of London. Candace Owens' husband. Exactly. Candace Owens' husband and his family did that to you guys, and they stole you guys' precious metal and used them as collateral, and that thereof. They did the same thing to us.
Damn. Switzerland is one of the countries that I left out of those world fairs that they were conducting here. So Switzerland was also one of those countries. And it made sense because of the Geneva Conventions and the establishment of the Red Cross, which is a foreign military under the guise of military aid, so they're like hospitals and all that.
Oh my goodness.
And strangely, we have all these boats that are parked on land. I don't know like how that went because we also have the SS Kafraria, so that allegedly came from England, but it's parked in land. So we have all these boats that were crashing into the shores, and some of them they went through the Orange River. And then they suddenly they were stranded on land, and so they became those Red Cross hospitals. That is why most of the Dutch republics, illegal republics, to say the least, because they nationalized themselves, they were not even properly grafted in. It's not like it's something we sat down with them and said, oh, okay, you can become, because all them, the lawgivers were out in war in Namibia. At the same time, we were being genocided in Namibia because there's something called the Namibian genocide. And all those people, they went through the Cecil Road, Cape to Cairo Railway. That is where they were moving all the bones. That is also where they were moving all the resources. So that would be the gold, the diamonds, and the copper as well. But, yeah, like... I don't know. Like, there is so much that I would like to share with you guys, because looking at you guys over there, it's like really looking into a mirror. It's like you revealing that over there. It's like it suddenly made everything click to me over here on this side. Like, we went through this and it made sense because we were also under King George. Because all the people up there today...
I got you. So it's all connected.
Yeah. It's all connected. It's all connected, bro. Because the people over there because that is Dutchland. Those are all Dutch people.
Yeah.
The place they call Britain today, that's not even Britain.
Oh,
because
yeah,
Britain
I know.
Is over here and over there.
I know, they're all
and
Dutch.
So is Ireland, because
I know.
they kind of, what they call Irish is really Dutch and German.
They're
so
Dutch, Germans, and part French, they say, which I say Nazi.
Exactly.
Thank you. Hey, man,
exactly.
we're going to do a whole show on, and we're going to let the audience ask some questions, and we're going to relate and compare notes and grow from this point, and hope to talk to you. Stay in touch, bro. Send me a text message. We definitely going to stay in touch, and let me get back to the studies, man. Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you. And God bless the class and everyone.
Shout out to the class, South Africa, in the motherfucking building to spread some truth about the funny people with the Prussia hats. Morris World TV, Prussian World TV, Prussia World TV. Come here, Prussian World TV. Prussia World TV. Come here, man. Let me tell you something, bro. Y'all little knowledge, man. This is by far the best experience. It's been fun battling y'all. You know, Prussia World TV and South Prussia. South Prussia. We gotta go back to the motherland, Prussia, the Byzantine Empire. Man, follow us, man. Get on these legs, bro. We black, man. Prussia all the way. Fold them grave. Come on, family. So my real African brothers is starting to check in and let us know these people are playing roles on top of roles, and they agree with Kev's role. Press 1. We worldwide. I told you. Why settle with these individuals that don't know nothing and be down here and you just got one of the grandest confirmations? Press 1 of all. So many different confirmations from the term African. I told you it's not real. Go catch a plane. The only Africa you going to is back into a dead state. Our African brothers just said you don't even want to be African. You need your name under King George. Press 1. You got to find out what happened to the King, King George, Sir Excellency. Press 1. You got to understand. Let Kwame and them talk about being Geechee while they ride around with PPP loans and tractors. Let Charleston White be a black Confederate. You got to focus on these individuals. Press 1. Right here. Land grabbers and thieves. Let me show you about Mr. House and what this fool is capable of. All right, this is going to verify to my African brothers as well. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Y'all want the midday shout outs? Go ahead, hit that cash app. My cash tag is Gills Gang. Now, Woodrow will support the truth. Support the real. How can these rappers say they so real and they don't care about our communities and what happened to us? Tupac Shakur, Woodrow Wilson, Colonial Emissary, Edward M. House, and the Origins of Mandate System, 1917 through 1919. Scott D. Bruce, Ph.D., University of Nebraska, 2013. Hey, look, check this out. After World War I, reallocating the former German and Turkish colonies, ain't that what we were just talking about? proved to be one of their more challenging feats of the peace process. After months of negotiation in 1919, first in Paris, then London, then very national leaders agreed to create a mandate system which proves to be a compromise between outright colonial expansion and genuine independence. There is no compromise, stupid. Whereby the former German and Turkish colonies in Africa, Asia, and Middle East, which is all one place, were mandated to the conquering nations in trust, just like we in trust, until the indigenous people were deemed ready to administer their own government and subsidies. I say, by golly, you gotta be ready. Even they know this. They don't want you to be free. They waiting on you. You understand me? And if you gonna sit around like an African American and watch Mr. Gillespie go get his and perform the duty of him and what he got going on in the world, and you just gonna sit by, you gotta be a fool. You gotta be a fool. When they say the stars is lining up, let me tell you black folks something. Not in the metaphysical, in the real world. This is what this means. You looking at Adolf Hitler fool on the screen. These people were the masters of disguise. Okay? They got you beat. You in La La Land. That's where you at. You in motherfucking La La Land. You don't see how a motherfucker can be old, young. It don't matter. Be whatever you want to take over this shit. Biological warfare and all that. Same play. Genocide. The Russian. Stealing of the gold. Shit, zoom zooms and wham whams. Mr. Baloo, press 1, a.k.a. you know your favorite president with no glasses on, which could possibly be... That's sad, bro. Do we really got to hit y'all with so many truth bombs and make you real mad for nothing? Okay? Tell Sonetta we found his people. Tell the Prussians and the fake people we got them. Press 1, we got Russia. They not fooling us with the blacks who came over and we black and black and black and black and black and black. I'm not from Russia. Press 1, I'm not under the business. I'm American free man. Press 1, born on this land, and you are way out of bounds. Your country is way over there with your 50 Cent looking ass. Charleston White, y'all shit is way on the other side of the earth. Why don't y'all just get ready to go home? When God and Jesus return, guess what they gonna do? They gonna send everybody to their own nation. You're going home to put your funny hats on, Morris World TV. You're going home. Press 1, guess what? You can take young Pharaoh with you. Press 1, you can take Hassan Campbell, funny looking ass, with you. Press 1, you can take any of these black people who will label themselves dead in law, or you can go. I'm not, bro, I don't care about sad faces. If you are mentally and civilly dead, there is no use for you. You need to go somewhere. You a ticking time bomb. I'm ready to create an act we gonna have on cops tonight. Press 1, because you don't know nothing and you don't know who you are, and you listen to rap music and you think wearing big ass Gucci stupid looking shoes is gonna get you some action in the real world. Press 1. Boy, nigga, them shoes gonna wear out so fast. Press 1. Young man, you better come to school. So all this Buffalo Soldier, I'm not just going at the Indians and the Pan-African. I'm telling y'all the Pan-Africans are Russians. Press 1. That's what you get. Fucking with Kev. Yeah, I told y'all you're going to fuck around and make me mad. That's all you going to do. You ain't going to do nothing but make me mad fucking around with Kev. Look, this is not American. This Asiatic man Russian. Press 1. Boy, this nigga killed a bunch of them. I bet you he put people on that Black Star, sending them back to Africa, and they sunk them ships. Press 1. I bet you they sunk them ships. Press 1. I bet you J.P. Morgan used this black man to, I bet you. Press 1. Walter Plecker, I bet you they made it look like this nigga was everything, and he's in full French Nazi military garb because you thinking he black. I don't give a damn about no black. I'm paying attention to what I'm supposed to be looking at. And this ain't no nigga I ever fucked with. Press 1. I don't care what y'all say in this black community. Kev Rowe are nothing. Remember that. Press 1. Y'all don't deny God for too long. For what? For this Asiatic man right here who will go into business with Walter Plecker to genocide millions of your people on both continents. These people need to be hung from a tree. That's right. Put a noose around their neck. Press 1. Send them out front of the White House. Press 1 and give their ass a 21 gun salute. Press 1 as their heads drop like ostriches in the ground. Press 1. I'm going to have a hole ready. Right there's going to be a doggy bowl so your head can drop right there. I press 1. King Gillespie, I have every Moor head that's in jurisdiction of the king. I line sign that up and let him do a live stream on Channel 54 pay-per-view tonight. Fuck with me. All gangbangers are now turning in their gang flags by way of the king. They're going to the military. Immediately get the train ready. Press 1. Your boyfriend, he finna go into law. You're gonna be missing him for the next 6 to 9 months until he's rehabilitated into society. He's been under communistic, socialistic ideology since birth. He needs to be removed. The young lady, move. Press 1. Move, Devin. Military school. That's where you going. 14, 15, what neighborhood? Chicago? You was about to write on that wall right there? Get in the band. Press 1, grown-ass man writing on walls. You headed to the internment grow-up facility. Press 1. We're going to get a tax break off of you niggas. Press 1. Oh, yeah, y'all can stay right there. Right there. You can just deliver the medicine. We need a bunch of beautiful sisters to drop off medicines in front of sealed doors. Because these niggas don't know how to buy food and cook and help out. Press 1. On some basic shit. Press 1. On some basic shit. Hit that like button and subscribe. So I don't care about Umar Johnson and his love for this individual and how long you've been believing that this was a good guy. There are people in the world who thought George W. Bush was a good guy until you find out his uncles and daddies in them was Nazis. Press 1. So I'm not, because of a term called black and how your feelings. One thing about the Afro-American community, the males are built so much and they mad right now, swinging at the screen. Knocking over, this nigga always talking shit, man. You don't get the profit, whatever this guy is, the profit. But the truth is, he ain't no brother of mine. He ain't no American. He wasn't over here, his family not attached to that war. How he came back from a war and all of our people didn't on both sides of the continents of Earth. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not going with these Byzantine Empire, Turkish head ass, Moorish, trying to trick us into civil law. Get the fuck out of here. Press 1. It would be a mass exodus that anybody that don't pledge to greatness, you getting baptized, you about to believe in God, or it's over for you. You going home. Y'all don't know how to live in peace. America is the most beautiful place and freest place on the earth, and God blessed us with this nation. You taking your retarded lineage, inbred ass home, wherever the Pope say it's acceptable for you to go. I don't give a damn. I'm not gonna miss a piece of cornbread worried about where the fuck you at on that chip. On that, what the fuck you think I care about what Brother Polite really come from? Press 1.
Shame.
Go home.
Shame.
Take your retarded thieving ass home. Y'all with the Russian Empire to rob, steal, and kill. That's it. Y'all don't want to be free because y'all too attached to these individuals they propped up to be. Hell, I had to give up the black cowboy, y'all. Press one, I had to give up until I found out it's the same nigga. Now I ain't played Red Dead Redemption yet because they tricked me, nigga. I'm not afraid. Nigga, listen, damn, bro, that's fucked up, bro. Now I know not everybody who had melanated skin was actually black because it said black cowboy. It's actually this Germanic scout over here. Press one, who was in charge of all the little boys. Press one. Damn it. Ain't no such thing as no black cowboy. You was royals, man. You are sovereign people. Sovereign. And y'all can sit back and act like y'all don't know what was going on and don't see. Oh, yeah, you see. All right. I'm not going to have a day where you won't see. Each one of these individuals is different people, fool. New Democrat. Each one of them. Each one of them. Each one of them. Now, listen to me. One's a banker, one's a president, one's a this one, and one's a that one. One of these niggas look just like the other. Remember that shit? This is a shame, family. See, they don't want you wide awoke. They want you to put woke on your t-shirt and walk around with chakras going up your spinal cord. They don't want you really awake looking at the characters and the Miss Doubtfires that's been going around and the theft that's been going around the world using the same individuals. This nigga was in the Civil War. This nigga was everywhere. Now I finally understand Robin Williams' characters in Jumanji. Press one. Now I understand. Remember the night at the museum? Robin Williams was Roosevelt. He was just like everything, bro. I get it, bro. It's some bullshit. It sucks living under Nazi regime, ain't it? Programming all over the damn place. I didn't know I was this sleep. I'm up here. Yeah, put him up on the wall next to Abraham Lincoln. Oh, this is great. America, tear that shit down. Nobody want Adolf Hitler in America. Press one. Nobody want Adolf Hitler as their president as part of a historical figure. Nobody want Mr. Gillespie telling y'all the truth that Adolf Hitler is the man that is over here and genocided you up out of position. Because they would have to admit everything is a lie. Everything. And they don't want that. Press one. Boy, they do not want you to know that they harbored this white supremacist Nazi German prick over here. Cut that little piece of shit mustache off. And got the genocide. And I told you Adolf Hitler had a Hoover Dam. It's the same dam. Adolf Hitler had dams over here. They blew the dam, fool. I told you that American war, that German war looked like it was going on right here in your backyard where everybody was at the internment camp / World Fair getting diplomas to get out. What? Lord have mercy. A huge asylum. A huge one. So, Walter Plecker, genocide. Adolf Hitler, genocide. This little man down here, the Merovingian looking, same guy. Genocide. They're all the same characters of that thereof. And everybody's involved, family. Everybody. Because they all know they put their leaders up over you. Now look, it was all to repay back a loan. I mean, listen, it's called the Dawes plan. Press one. This is how they gonna rob your ass and create the biggest press one revolving laundering money scheme the world is and theft the world has ever seen. You hear me? Not just the lips, the chin is the same too. They all the same. They said, okay, we loan Germany some money so they can pay back France. Press one. Who are the Nazis? Press one. So America gonna loan Germany, right, some money, right, to France. Now, Nazis are Germans and French, but we gonna loan Germans some money so they can pay reparations to France. Then France cycles the money to America by way of all type of bullshit that don't make sense. They just take all the gold and take all the resources and export it and play this revolving game. In reality, they gave these people over $55 trillion billion dollars, which were in reparations to themselves. It's always to themselves. It ain't never to nobody else, but to themselves. Under the guise of what my African brothers say, black. They've been doing this robbery for so long, and this is where we at in the world. That's why I realized, like, damn, people don't really believe in God like that. That's crazy, because we're dead. I mean, civilly, mentally, out of position. The leaders have just like, what? Well, what we're even finding out about the black world affairs, the Negro world affairs, is just like, that's a whole internment camp, bro. That's a whole internment camp. There should be no reason why Stalin looked like J.P. Morgan. Press one. There's no reason. There's no reason for this. There should be no reason for this, fam. At all. And again, this is a rendition. So whether it's him or Mr. Carter, which I believe is Mr. Carter, which delivered what? The Carter Act right after the Dawes Act. Am I tripping? Look at George Kessler. Landscape. I just happened to click on this. Who the fuck this look like? Hold the fuck up. Right on time. Another one. What did he say? Another one. Look at that lip. When it comes to 17-month-old Roderick Jr., Roderick, you are the father. Press one. Press one. Where are my white people?
Not like this. Not like this.
I love this. Look at this. Mr. Of course he will be the damn landscape architect Kessler. Press one. What did this guy do in his life? Don't make no damn sense, family. Come on, America. Fight me. Press one. Fight me. I thought somebody was debatable. Press one. Come on, America. I can't stop. I cannot stop. I'm invincible. Press one. I'm undefeated. Look at that. Now, somebody hurry up and do their research on Mr. Kessler and call it in. Come on, I'm going to light my swisher. I'm going to just take my time and listen to my beautiful students. Press one. I'm telling y'all like this. I ordered my food. Shout out to my support team. I ordered a good meal out on the East Coast. Press one. Woo! I hope this is going to be delicious. Press one. Man, y'all sure got some good food on the East Coast. Back to the show, though. Theodore fucking Roosevelt or Heinrich or who are these people that y'all don't post it up as y'all leaders, which are the same characters over and over and over again playing different roles? Press one. Oh, that man in the high castle shit fucked me up forever. Press one. You should have never showed me that. I was binge watching the man in the high castle. I cannot believe this is even possible. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. That didn't make sense how they found 20,000 dead bodies in Washington. That'll make sense. That'll make sense, won't it? Right up under it. That'll make sense. Mass exterminations. Oh, yeah, family. This is some otherworldly shit here. I didn't even know this. I didn't even look at this Kessler like that. Who is Kessler? Let me guess. This is embarrassing. Since nobody's gonna call in, fine. George Kessler. Let me do it. Let me see. George Kessler. George Edward Kessler was an American pioneer, planner, and landscape architect over the course. Well, let me go to Wikipedia. His parents is Adolf Kessler. That's his daddy, Adolf. So he was land allotting. He was allotting the land. Over the course of a 41-year career, George completed over 200 projects and prepared over 26 communities. 26 park and boulevard systems, 49. Oh, yeah, he's an allot guy. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. These guys are enslaving you. Grid. They're gridding. What did Tupac say? Grid locked. Oh, yeah. By way of international corporation. Oh, gridlock. Yeah, they gridding out, putting you in the ghetto, sectioning you way the fuck off somewhere as in the project. Damn, y'all. Damn. You can't make this shit up. He also survived the Louisiana tanker disaster. Press 1. He also survived the Titanic-style sinking of a ship. Oh my goodness. Cavro University, you're on the air.
Hi, Professor. This is Angelita. I wanted to call in to in regards to names. So the names that you're saying, and then the guy that called in from South Africa in regards to Ireland. So when reading back, because I wanted to look back at all the kings from different areas, and I've been reading like these books. So I'm noticing, even with all the names you're even just saying today, that Queen Elizabeth, King Henry's daughter, she actually was about to, when you're courting, because she never married anyone or had any kids. But when you're courting, it was several different men that was available to her. And I know that one of the men was, his name was Adolh. And then I know that Dawes, the current rapper that just passed right now.
Oh my goodness. You bet fucking not. You bet not.
Adolh. His real name is Adolf, like Adolf Hitler. So where are they getting these names from? Because, as they said, we were scattered all over the...
Stop. Go sit down in the classroom. Theodore Roosevelt. Just fucking stop. Just stop. Theodore Roosevelt. This is why I said stop in my chat room. Just stop typing. I'm not doing this. No. Theodore Roosevelt. Don't worry about that. Stay here with me. I want my class to disregard everything Angelita typing ass just said. Okay? Don't you type in my classroom until you can focus. Don't even type nothing. Hide nothing. Nothing. Until you focus your brain on what's important to me. That's not important. I don't give two shits about what you're talking about. I'm not sorry. Hell no. That's what you're not gonna do. You're gonna interpret God's word to mean some scribble scrabble brainiac shit. Get on up out of here. Listen, Heinrich, Theodore Roosevelt, Mr. I said, call in about Kessler and what he's done. They call in to distract me about what? They call in to distract me about what? What you think? If this was Angelina Moore University about thinking, girl, you would have a leeway. But this is Cavro University, and right now we're talking about these 8 gentlemen on the goddamn screen who all look alike. Okay? I know your brain is short-circuiting right now, but focus. I want to know about these individuals and what you think about this. Not about no other conspiracy. This is the best conspiracy on earth right here. Thank you. Come again. Press 1. I'm talking about Edward ass, and you talking about some nonsense. Some what you think. Press 1. And Janita should be ashamed of herself. We talking about this land grabber here, and you talking about Dolph, the damn rapper. Press 1. What? So you think, let me guess, Adolf Hitler a black man? Press 1. Tell me something. I'm not doing this with y'all no more. No, you're going to be on curriculum, and that's it. You're not taking this class nowhere to Angelina's Avenue, nowhere. This is about Colonel Edward Mandel House predicts the creation of the Strawman in the United States. And this is fucking Adolf Hitler. I don't care about no names you said that I said. No, this is the name right here. And the individuals that they're playing. Jeez, Angelina. I couldn't wait for you to call in just to see what was on your brain. Nothing. I was doing my research. Nothing. Fuck it. I said nothing. Hit that like button and subscribe. Tell me about this straw man and how they removed us from the land and all. Tell me about Dolph and Adolf and the conspiracy of Makita's cookies. Okay? And the layering of videos. I'm not talking about that. This show is about the master of disguise. This is a great topic about disguise and how they're playing multiple roles. Okay. So keep y'all brains, comprehension levels got to be on fleek like them eyebrows. Coffee and Kush TV, you on the air.
Professor, so wouldn't they have to use those names of royalty to play the different parts?
But we passed that. Tell me about Colonel Edward Mandel House predicts the straw men of the United States. Tell me about that and him being Adolf Hitler in disguise. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the different characters will be the straw man of, like, so how are they able, say, for example, that one person, how is he able to play those different positions with the names?
Because those names are legally bound to dead people. Yes.
That's what I'm speaking of, Professor. So I'm saying that the names that these people, say, for example, are currently using, those dead people's names, I think is linked to royalty, is what I meant to say.
That's true, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about we're not talking about how. We're talking about the straw man and how he predicted the creation of the straw man and the different characters that he playing. I get what you're saying. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. Huh?
Because so this guy, Edward, the house guy, is reading. It says that he was the close confidant of Wilson. So I remember when you said that at the beginning when we was thinking that Wilson was Hitler, but I'm like, okay, so I'm kind of confused on like, well, how could he be Wilson's close confidant and tell him everything? He didn't travel with Wilson. So I'm just thinking like, okay, so how could he, if he's his close advisor and travel with him and go everywhere, be the same character? So that's where I'm stuck at, because as I'm reading, he went everywhere with him.
He went.
And I'm like,
he went everywhere with who? Wilson?
With Woodrow Wilson.
Because he is Woodrow Wilson.
So that's where I got stuck at, Professor, because I'm like, I remember when we were saying he was Hitler as well. So I'm looking at the face. I'm like, well, he kind of looked Chinese, and he looked like President Biden by the eye.
Hold on.
The reason I said Ukrainians at the beginning is because when I read, say, for example, yesterday when I told you I was with my grandkids and I had to read, so I continued reading, and it came up about the Holodomor, which was about Stalin when they did the genocide, the Holocaust. I also got the map of everywhere, and the United States is the whole United States is lit up. Like, and it's with Russian and the Ukraine. It was when the Soviet Union dispersed. And then it also shows when they added years in for this guy, Edward's house, where his wife is at. You know, when we looked up and it has that little M, and it shows how they add the years. Yeah, it even has that in there about his wife's name. Like it's supposed to be a different year. So I'm when I said the name, it just kind of made me think of like, okay, so the names they're using has to be linked to royalty and able for them to play these different parts. But I kind of got stuck with, as you said, like this one person being the same person, because reading through it, it's like people saw him with him and he was his co-confidant because he did everything with him. So I kind of separated the people. But that's all I wanted to say.
So tell me something about. Tell me something else. I'll let you rock. Now tell me something else. I let it rock.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm currently reading about the Holodomor, which was the actual genocide committed on all the different nations, and I'm currently right now just reading about when I think Stalin, he was the last president, but it was one before him. But it looks like when they were charged with the crimes and when they had when the Great Famine and stuff happened.
Man, tell me about them switching the roles. I don't give a damn. What Great Famine? Well,
switching the roles, it seems like is when the Soviet Union dispersed and became two different nations. Like it was two different nations. And it seems like it's when that's when they started switching the roles, Professor. I have to read more, but I just wanted to call in and just not let you know that I'm not all over the place. I was just putting like that character, and it wasn't able to separate it into one. But how? Who is the witness? Say, for example, that's separating all these different characters. Because how is they separating all these different characters in different spots? It's just that's where the confusion is.
Why?
Like you can look and you can tell. Well, you can look and tell. Like say for example, okay, well, yeah, he looks like because when we first saw Wilson and that picture with Hitler together, it was dead spot on, especially with the chin. And then when you add different characters, you like, dang. But then you look and you like, okay, so if they was in a car together, who saw them in the car together? So now I'm like, well, it has to be two separate people. Yeah. No, I'm talking about Wilson and the house guy.
Ma'am, you're not getting it. You totally, you're missing the whole point. That's like saying Wyman was in a car with Roosevelt as George Kessler looked on, and he saw Roosevelt and Heimlich. Who's this guy up here on this other picture? One of these other Heinrich von Bocher and Roosevelt talking to each other, but who the witness would be George Kessler, but they're all the same person. So it's just ramble on conversations. There's no real witness to anything when you are you. You're the damn witness playing two different roles. The only witness that will be is Roosevelt and Heinrich and Kessler, who saw him, and they all the same person. So whoever you talk to out of those three, they gonna stay with that story. You can bet your last dollar, all three of them got the same story. To a T.
Well, thank you. Well, but that's where I was getting confused. That professor, them being different people, the same person and being together. So I get it now, as you explained.
I hope so. Coffee.
I do. I get it. You're just basically saying because they're playing the same person, they're the only ones. You're basically saying because they're the him who what why he's the one person. So who else? I mean, he's saying everything about what's going on.
He's everywhere in every position of power and using names, of course, that will be common enough to use it. But after the overthrow and the coup, all you really just using names to throw off future people searching for the truth. Not at the time, because you running it at that time. So you in real life, you really just coming up with different characters as if they are all different characters, but in reality, it's all Adolf Hitler. It's all Baloo, Prince Baloo. These are all the same individuals from the same armies back east. Go ahead.
So I wanted to ask a question. So, say for example, all the different characters that they're playing, are these different characters from different areas, or are they out from, let's say, the same place? Because if, let's say, for example, when the callers previously said there was a King William in South Africa, which was Irish, then where would the other kin people be? Would it be in the places like, say, for example, that we're hearing where they're causing these different wars at in the news? So that's where kind of like my... Okay.
I don't understand. What'd you say?
I'm asking the professor is, say, for example, the different places that we're hearing about. Let's say that they're saying America is going to cause these different wars and put central banks in them. Are all those the places, say, for example, where we will maybe have kids, people, or relatives where they caused all the wars? Like, say, for example, the Holocaust as of right now? Like Ukraine, Georgia, Hungary, Ireland, Latvia, Lithuania, all those places. Ecuador. I think I'm maybe just too far ahead. I was just wanted to know, are we related to all those areas where they would have committed the Holocaust? Is that where they took the inheritance from all of the people? Is where they're causing the famine, like Palestine and things like that?
You just I don't really understand what you're getting at. I really don't. I'm wasting a lot of brain trying to figure out what's the significance. What are you talking about?
Well, the different characters that's being played, like him playing all those different characters, would they be from different places around the world? Even though
you got to do your research on each individual, ma'am. Get off my phone.
Well,
I'm going to bed. I'm about to eat. My stomach is too sensitive for these dumbass questions and you typing in my chat room. Fuck, Google the fucking names so you can see. What the fuck? Am I tripping? Google the names so you can see they all in different places. Jeez Louise, man. No, don't do that to me. Don't do that. Listen, I'm having a blast. Do not complicate this experience with silliness, okay? Is he have a different life than Hitler? You damn right he got a whole different life than Hitler. What are you asking me? Yes. His name is Edward Mandel here. Does he have a hold on? You ain't saying nothing. Do not call this show in 6 months until your brain has adjusted to truth and not way out there on some other shit. Maybe I'm just out there, so you damn right. You too far out there. Way out there. And that's why I said send in your brain on this right here. Just walk with me. Okay? Walk with me. Without family, it's y'all been ran off way around the corner, want me to go with. What are you doing out there? Like one of your kids when they out there in the water too. What are you doing way out there, bro? What are you doing? This is Adolf Alois Hitler. This is Hitler's father. Press 1. His name, they don't even got no picture. It is Alois Hitler. Right? So, different characters, maybe. Different things, yeah, probably. But that's for you. That's for you. I'm over here talking about how, this is what I'm talking about, ma'am. The USA lends money to Germany, which is spent on building up the German economy. Germany uses increased taxes revenues to pay reparations to France. France pays back war loans to USA goods, imports U.S. goods to rebuild France, and that goes back right there. So these two at war with each other, which is one and the same, and the money is being sent from here. That's what I'm thinking about. You own some whole other shit, okay? This is what I'm talking about. When you're not focused, Angelina Moore, on what I'm talking about, your brain is all over the place. You may be right in there in that little cranium somewhere, but like I be having to tell Rico, get your shit together. When you sound like you fumbling all over the place like that, oh my goodness, it's better you just sit right there and just press 1. Oh, jeez. Hell no. Y'all not stressing me out for another semester. I told you. Listen, Angelina, that shit sound good when you typing it in that chat room. Call it in. Call it in. Let people see exactly what your brain is coming up with. Please. It's the only way. You feel me? I'm not doing it. We supposed to be, that's why I said focus on Colonel and the similarities of these people and how they made this process possible, in which characters are in play. Okay? If you can't do that, just sit back and relax. I'm acting like you got all this knowledge up in the chat room. I call you in. Your brain is focused on a whole nother. Look, the Dawes plan. Look, the Dawes. We talking about the same individuals here. Mr. Charles Dawes, the Dawes role, and how your reparations, USA, was spent on this. And how did you ever get your money back? With interest? Oh, no. It's called a robbery, because these two are the same, using you to steal from your beneficiary package left by the king. So they're just robbing you blind under the guise of white in America. That's it. There's no such thing. White people is a status, and they know this is a theft, high theft. So some other shit, coffee and kush. If you can't stay focused, you know, that's not my problem. I'm sorry, Angelina. I don't mean to sound too harsh, but this to you. This to you. Okay? This to you. You got to be able to think on a level of like, damn, I'm up here talking about layering and fucking this shit here, and you talking about what? They said it's a fairy tale they write themselves. It's actually Wonderland. It is a fairy tale. So I'm gonna go to commercial break, and I'm gonna allow somebody to call in and enjoy this. Give me 30 seconds. Yep, sometimes you got to go there. So yeah, like I was saying, Adolf Hitler had a specific ideology to steal legally the land. The thing is, coming up with crafty counsel to steal the land like a rug right up under the people's feet. Press 1. Without them even realizing it. And you can actually see the plan worked out not only in Africa, what they call Africa, but right here in the Americas. And it's the same people under the same order. Meaning, King George's people on both sides of the globe suffer the same consequences. Holocaust. These are the similarities. Holocaust and mass extermination and colonialism, where they nationalize themselves and pretend to be of that land in order to steal the resources. Otherwise, you laughing at Africa about, oh, they did that to them. The same people did it to you. The Red Cross. We just had an African brother call in with so much information. It is the same play on both sides with probably the same individuals. Now they want you to really bear tears for the Jewish Holocaust, but they don't even want you to mention the real Holocaust. The Jews, who y'all call Jews, share the same bloodline as these individuals. Just like they say black people commit these crimes and black people is impoverished neighborhood and black people, and they lump us all together as if we all out there. Don't get to crying now because we say Jews or Irish or Europe as a collective. It's true. So you can't say Adolf Hitler. I can go find pictures right now of Adolf Hitler And ain't none of these people he's talking about, other than them Dutch people, got blonde hair, blue eye. All of them got brown. They all from different nations. Turkey. It's like a renegade Red Cross Boy Scouts overthrowing militia, causing slavery for the church. For the banking. It's like the banking's army. Because they usually don't got an army until the bankers don't got an army without in different nations without the Boy Scouts, Hitler's Youth, and all of this. Ooh, this is delicious. So we gotta put the pieces together on how Hitler, aka Mr. Genocide, how Charles Dawes, Mr. Genocide, and Mr. Dawes Rose himself stole the identities of the freedmen of the king. Now, if you're black, there's no way you're from this nation. It means you're a refugee. You're seeking asylum. If you black, you looking for help from the Red Cross. You're a child, incapable of handling your own finances. And Janita Moore, see how they went back to that? That's these folk. That's the whole point of this. It's to get your trust and steal your benefit packet from the king. And to make you submit by your genetic self, your bio self, to the state. That means sell yourself. Like Kanye West just did. Talking about he authorizing them to use his... No, nigga, they ain't using nothing. I cancel that. So, Dawes role is the real shit. Exactly. SBDM Radio. Now you thinking, brother. The Dawes role is Schindler's List. You get it? There it is there. I'm waiting on y'all. The Dawes role is what you would consider Schindler's List. You ever saw that before? You ever been made to watch that in your schools? Where you think that? Well, I know y'all were thinking in school, where they get these lists from? The Dawes role. Everything you seen winning on in these movies happened to you and our African brothers on across the water. Press 1. Everything. Everything they said they did to themselves, they did to you. They say they did it to themselves so you'll give them sympathy over the travesty that they did to you. It's stolen legacy, stolen sympathy, stolen everything. These are monsters. As I eat this chicken. Press 1. Yep. Stolen legacy, y'all. Stolen sympathy. They want everything. So that way, why do you think the Jews always yell anti-Semitism to as a collective to stop you from even questioning? They try to use that to prevent you from doing what? First of all, it's against freedom. So all you so-called Americans who agree with anti-Semite rhetoric are anti-American at heart. Because a person got a right to feel how they want to feel. As long as they're not harming nobody. Press 1. Yep. As long as they're not harming nobody and causing a threat and threatening them. That's the whole part of human evolution, is to think our way out of things and find out who's doing this to you so you can come out of it. If the people at the time would have said that, who the hell is doing this to us? They wouldn't have ended up in World Fair concentration camps. I knew it. I knew them World Fairs was something. They was indoctrinating them white people and making them regurgitate history, right? Those old little boys and girls, whatever that is. But I'm saying to myself, what happened to our people at the time? What happened to, and you find out they was at the Negro World Fairs, they was putting up wallpaper, making it look like slavery, doing auctions on niggas. Press one. Yep. If they had the Native Americans pretending to be Native Americans at the World Fairs, what do you think they had you doing? I'm bugging.